Christ alone, my hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song. This cornerstone, this solid ground, firm through the fiercest drought and storm. What heights of love, what depths of peace, when fears are stilled, when striving cease. My comforter, my all in all, here in the love of Christ I stand.
During my time at retreat, it showed me, I've always viewed God as kind and affectionate and loving. I never saw him as a father loving his little girl and loving me as a child, and that just really opened my eyes to see how great his love is.
Coming to the retreat was definitely good, in that I was able to create new friendships rooted in God that would otherwise be not there or not have formed if I hadn't come. So I think I'm really thankful for that, and I think God really blessed me at this retreat.
This retreat has been really eye-opening. My relationship with God was not the best. It's been kind of faltering. But now that I'm here, it's been sparked again, and it's just been good to be here surrounded with fellow brothers and sisters.
At this retreat, I really enjoyed the time of prayer we got every night, because whenever I pray for someone else, I feel like I'm really warming their heart and doing good for them, and I like having that kind of feeling. And when other people pray for me, it warms my heart, and I just really enjoy it every night.
One thing I learned at this retreat is just that I had a different perspective on who God was. I always viewed him as someone who I have to fear. I was ashamed to go to him. I was ashamed to talk to him about who I really was and to be vulnerable in front of him. But as the speaker spoke to us, I realized God is he's our Father. He's someone who's not going to abandon us whether we do wrong or something, but he's there to pick us up. And I feel that's something that I can take back to after retreat, after all this. I think that's something I can really use in my life. So yeah.
Before the retreat, I didn't really think of myself as one of God's children. I didn't think that he adopted me, but learning that, it just makes me feel good. Yeah, it's really relieving.
This retreat that God has taught me was to really rely on him, and yeah, he's always got my back, and that yeah, he really cares for me.
So what God taught me during this retreat was during the first day when Pastor Hyung told us about how God constantly pursues us. I connected that to unconditional love, and because of that I reflected on something that happened my sophomore year. I made a mistake and I felt ashamed of God, ashamed to come in front of God, and because of that, because of what's been happening throughout the retreat with the sermons and everything, I felt that I could throw away that burden, I could throw away that shame. And because that God constantly loves us and he doesn't really see the past as long as we're still growing as Christians in this walk with him.
I kind of was able to open up to a lot of my brothers and sisters at this retreat, and I was just realizing how many relationships I still have this retreat, even though I left for a couple months and even for a year. It just helped me, I know this sounds really cliche, but it helped me find my identity in Christ.
I think through this retreat, I was sure that God was there, and I felt his presence even during worship. And, yeah, I think God really revealed himself to me this retreat.
I think this retreat for me was different from the other retreats that I went. I think I learned what personal and a real relationship with God means, not in a general sense, but what it really means to me personally.
At this retreat, most retreats, everyone's scared of the spiritual high and the emotions part of it. But I think quite the opposite at this retreat. Rather than emotions, I was able to experience I don't know, or it was God revealed to me the faith aspect of our walk. And I know that's basics and stuff. But for me, like in my identity, I always felt like I needed to feel like my identity. But I think here at Retreat, God revealed to me that it's just a matter of faith and believing that my identity is in Jesus.
Something I really learned at this retreat was just that we should really be hungry for God, and that God really has words for us and really has something that He just wants to do in our life, and that He really wants to change us. But if we're not hungry for God, then we won't get that change. We won't get what God has in store for us.
God has really taught me that how great His love is, and how to just be like God, like Jesus, and like how to care for each other, and that emotion is not everything about. Just don't fall for my emotions and just don't trust my emotions too much. Yeah, and I'm really interested to know more about Jesus and like open up the Bible, because I never really wanted to read the Bible, but
Is Jesus everything? Or is He just something? Right? How does Jesus compare to your school, your family, your friends, your church, hobbies? Jesus, for identity, must be the foundation, must be the center, must be the focus for everything in your life and my life, because He alone is everything.
The ground, His body lay, light of the world by darkness slain, then bursting forth.